Hi there, and welcome to The Daily Gardener, an almanac of garden history, literature, and small botanical joys. I'm Jennifer Ebling, and today is March 10th. Not every season announces itself. Sometimes spring comes quietly, noticed first by people who have been drumming their fingers, looking out the window, or flipping through the seed catalogs over and over again. A flower carried to market, a plant blooming earlier than expected, a wild place observed closely enough to be understood. These are all small moments, easy to miss, easy to dismiss. But today's stories remind us that noticing, patient, faithful waiting, and watching is how gardens change us. Here's today's garden history. It was on this day in 1787 that the English painter William Etty was born. William is remembered as a painter of grand scenes, mythology, history, the drama of the human form. But some of his most revealing work had nothing to do with gods or heroes. It had to do with flowers. In the early 19th century, William painted The Flower Girl, a young woman balancing a basket of blooms on her head, bringing garden color into the city street. It's a quiet painting, no spectacle, no heroic gesture, just the trade in beauty, the moment when something grown slowly, season by season, is carried into public life. William understood that landscapes mattered too. When the medieval walls of York were threatened with demolition, he campaigned fiercely to save them, arguing that a city's character lives not just in buildings, but in the green spaces and the edges that hold memory. William warned his fellow citizens to be careful what they destroyed, because once lost, character cannot be rebuilt. For William Etty, beauty wasn't merely decoration. It wasn't excess. It was identity, and it was worth protecting. And it was on this day, in 1832, that the American botanist Rebecca Merritt Austin was born. Rebecca noticed what most people overlooked. Living and working in the wild landscapes of Northern California, she devoted herself to studying the cobra lily, Darlingtonia californica, a carnivorous plant growing in cold, running water. Without formal training or laboratory tools, Rebecca relied on patience and curiosity. She fed the plants bits of raw mutton. She watched carefully. She took notes. What others saw as strange or dangerous, Rebecca saw as intricate and alive. Rebecca discovered that the cobra lily's deadly reputation masked a delicate system, plants, insects, and larvae working together in balance. Rebecca's observations were so precise that they were cited by Asa Gray at Harvard in defense of Darwin's theory of evolution. To support her family, Rebecca collected plants and seeds for sale, turning her careful focus into a livelihood. Her work helped protect what we now know as Butterfly Valley in Plumas County, California, near Quincy, a rare botanical sanctuary. And today, several plants still bear her name. Quiet markers of a woman who tended living things long enough and closely enough to be remembered. In today's Unearthed Words, we hear some poetry from the American poet Ina Coolbrith, born on this day, March 10th, in 1841. Ina was California's first poet laureate and one of its earliest voices, arguing that beauty itself was a form of wealth. In Ina's poem Copa de Oro, she renamed the California poppy not as a weed, but as a cup of gold, more precious than anything pulled from the earth. Ina wrote, "For thou art nurtured from the treasure, veins of this fair land. Thy golden rootlets sup her sands of gold." Ina believed that naming a plant was a way of saving it, and that wisdom, spoken aloud, could keep something from being lost. It's time to grow that garden library with today's book, Women Garden Designers, 1900 to the Present, by Christina Taylor. This book is part of Women Gardeners Week on the Daily Gardener, and this week's book recommendations all celebrate women who shaped gardens and landscapes, often without recognition. In her book, Christina Taylor traces the lives of female designers who learned to read land carefully, working with climate, soil, and time instead of against them. It's a reminder that noticing can become a profession, a calling, and a legacy. And finally, here's something sweet to ignite the little botanic spark in your heart. It was on this day in 1802 that the American naturalist William Bartram recorded snowdrops blooming in his garden. Although it's too early by today's standards for daffodils to bloom in northern gardens. William Bartram was artistic. He wrote articles and illustrated natural history books. He noted seeds sprouting, flowers opening, and a season arriving ahead of schedule. When William worked in his garden, he had a special companion, a pet crow named Tom, who followed him as he weeded, sometimes helping, sometimes simply watching. Tom stayed close to the window when William worked inside at his desk. He perched on branches when William rested and took naps beneath the shade of a tree. William once recalled Tom's incredible personality and helpfulness. He wrote, "Tom would often fly to me, and after very attentively observing me pulling up the small weeds and grass, he would fall to work and with his strong beak pluck up the grass, and more so when I complimented him with encouraging expressions." It's a small scene, quiet, but extraordinary. And yet, it reminds us that we often find ourselves accompanied by others in the garden, especially in spring, when the earth calls everyone to come out and play. As we close the show today, remember, not every garden moment is loud. In spring, gardens don't always flaunt their accomplishments. Sometimes we need to watch and work a while to see what's really going on. William Etty spied flowers moving through city streets. Rebecca Merritt Austin discovered life hiding inside danger. Ina Coolbrith adored California poppies and called them gold. And William Bartram noticed he was really never alone in the garden, not with Tom flying around nearby. There are many ways the changing season changes us, if we only stop to think about it. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener. And remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day.